Welcome to Love Lies Chronicles.
I'd love to know what you think. Every comment helps me make the next story better. Subscribe to stay tuned. Last Wednesday evening, I discovered my wife was planning to wage a silent treatment war against me. Not because I had done anything wrong, but because her friends convinced her it would be a fun test to see who would break first. I'd come home from the gym earlier than usual. The house was quiet except for muffled voices coming from Rebecca's office. She was on speakerphone, and I recognized the voices immediately. Whitney, Kendra, and Amanda, her book club friends. The same ones who'd been filling her head with relationship advice from social media for months. I stopped in the hallway, hidden from view, but close enough to hear every word clearly. "So you just stopped talking to him completely," Whitney was saying. No explanation, no warning, just ice-cold silence. "My sister did this with her boyfriend last month," Kendra added. "He was begging her to talk within 3 days. Literally brought her flowers and apologized for things he didn't even do. The key is to make him think he did something wrong," Amanda said. "Let him stew in it. Don't give him any hints." Rebecca's voice came through, uncertain. "But what if he just doesn't care? What if he's fine with the silence?" Whitney laughed. "Trust me, no man can handle being ignored by his wife. He'll crack within a week, guaranteed. And when he does, you'll see exactly how much he values you. Plus, you get to document everything," Kendra said. "The panicked texts, the desperate attempts to talk. It's golden." "My cousin kept a journal of her husband's breakdown during their silent treatment week," Amanda added. "She said it was the most powerful she'd felt in years." I felt my jaw clench. These women were treating my marriage like a social experiment. "So I just stopped talking?" Rebecca asked. "Starting when?" "Tonight. The moment he gets home. Don't answer questions, don't acknowledge him, nothing. Let's see who breaks first." "Put it exactly like that," Amanda said. "Tell him, let's see who breaks first. It'll drive him crazy trying to figure out what it means." "I don't know, girls. This seems manipulative." "It's not manipulation," Whitney insisted. "It's setting boundaries. You're showing him that you won't be taken for granted. If he really loves you, he'll fight for your attention," Kendra said. "If he doesn't, well, then you know where you stand." I backed away silently and left the house. Sitting in my car around the block, I thought about what I'd heard. Part of me wanted to storm back in and confront all of them, but something held me back. I thought about my parents. They'd been married 42 years. I called my dad once from that car, sitting in the darkness. "Hey, son, everything okay?" "Dad, did mom ever test you? You know, play games to see how you'd react?" He was quiet for a moment. "Why are you asking?" "Just curious. Your mother tried it once. Early in our marriage. She got angry about something I didn't do and gave me the silent treatment for a day. Wouldn't tell me what was wrong, just expected me to figure it out." "What did you do?" "I told her I wasn't psychic and I wasn't playing guessing games. I said if she had something to say, she could use her words like an adult. If she didn't want to talk, that was fine, but I wasn't going to chase her around begging for information." "How'd she react?" "She was furious at first. Thought I should have known what I did wrong. But after a few hours, she came to me and actually talked. And we made a rule right then. No games. No tests. If something's wrong, say it. If you need something, ask for it. We've lived by that rule for 4 decades. "Thanks, Dad." "Andrew, is Rebecca playing games with you?" "Yeah." "Then you have a choice to make. You can play along and set a precedent that games are acceptable, or you can draw a line now." "I think I know which one I'm choosing." "Good man. Call me if you need anything." I hung up and sat there, my father's words settling over me. Draw a line now. If Rebecca wanted to test who would break first, she was about to learn something important about her husband. I don't chase. I don't beg. And I certainly don't dance for anyone's amusement. She wanted to see who would break? I'd show her what breaking actually looked like. I drove around for 20 minutes, then returned home. Rebecca's friends had left. She was in the kitchen, visibly nervous, fidgeting with a dish towel. "Let's see who breaks first," she said, trying to sound confident. I looked at her, nodded once, and said nothing. I walked to the refrigerator, made myself a sandwich, and ate it in complete silence while scrolling through my phone. Rebecca watched me, clearly expecting questions or arguments. When I finished, I took my plate upstairs. She followed me to the bedroom doorway. "Did you hear what I said?" she asked. Silence. "Andrew." Silence. "You're really not going to say anything?" I walked past her into the bathroom and closed the door. The game was on, but I was playing by entirely different rules. The next morning, Thursday, I woke up early. I made coffee and breakfast for one. Rebecca appeared in the kitchen doorway, still committed to her silent treatment. I nodded good morning and continued my routine. I made just enough food for myself, cleaned only my dish, and left for work without a single word. That evening, I came home and went straight to the guest room. I started pulling things out of the closet, organizing them. Rebecca appeared in the doorway, watching with growing alarm as I took out an overnight bag and began sorting through my belongings. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it, probably her friends checking in, but she ignored it. She just stood there, watching me pack, her hand gripping the doorframe. The color drained from her face. Her mouth opened as if to speak, then closed again. I continued sorting methodically. She backed away slowly. Friday morning followed the same pattern. Coffee for one. Breakfast for one. Rebecca sat at the kitchen table, looking tired, just watching me. I read my tablet while I ate, maintaining perfect calm. When I left for work, she was still sitting there. That afternoon, she texted me. "Are you coming home for dinner?" I didn't respond. "Andrew," she texted again. No response. This is ridiculous. I maintained the silence. I stayed late at the gym and came home after 8:30. Rebecca was waiting in the living room. She stood when I entered, opened her mouth to speak, but I walked past her to the guest room and quietly closed the door. From inside, I could hear her on the phone again. "Has he cracked yet?" Whitney asked. "No," Rebecca said, her voice stressed. "He's not reacting at all." "What do you mean not reacting?" "He's just existing. Not asking questions, not getting upset, nothing." "Give it time," Amanda said. "He's probably trying to seem unbothered. He'll break soon." "I don't think he will," Rebecca said. "He moved to the guest room. He packed a bag." "That's just theatrics," Whitney said dismissively. "He's trying to make you worried, so you'll talk first." "I don't know." "Stay strong," Amanda said. "This is working exactly how it should." I smiled to myself. Their advice was failing spectacularly, and they couldn't see it. Saturday morning arrived. I made breakfast and sat reading the newspaper. Rebecca appeared, hair unbrushed, eyes red. She clearly hadn't slept. She sat across from me at the table and just stared. I turned the pages calmly, finished my food, washed my dish, and went to the garage. I began organizing tools, pulling items out, sorting them into boxes. Rebecca stood in the doorway, watching. Her phone buzzed repeatedly, but she didn't answer it. She just watched me label boxes clearly with my name and load some into my car trunk. Her hands were trembling. I could see tears forming in her eyes, but she maintained her silence. That afternoon, I drove to Home Depot and bought packing supplies. When I returned, Rebecca was watching from the window. I brought the boxes inside, went to the guest room, and began systematically packing my clothes. By evening, I had several boxes packed. Rebecca stood in the hallway outside the guest room door. I saw her raise her hand to knock 3 separate times. Each time, she pulled back. Finally, she walked away. I heard her crying in the master bedroom. I continued packing. Sunday morning, I was making what would be my final coffee in this house. Rebecca entered the kitchen, eyes swollen from crying. She sat at the table, hands folded, staring at me desperately. I maintained my routine. Later, I sat in the living room with my laptop, openly looking at apartment listings. Rebecca saw the screen from the doorway. Her face went white. She sat in the chair across from me, opening her mouth multiple times, but saying nothing. Pride and fear battled visibly on her face. That afternoon, I carried more packed boxes past her. She was sitting on the floor against the hallway wall, hugging her knees, tears streaming silently down her face. I paused and looked at her. She met my eyes. A moment of connection passed between us. Then I continued walking and loaded the boxes into my car. That evening, I heard her on the phone again, crying. "This isn't working," she told her friends. "He's leaving. He's bluffing," Whitney said. "He packed half the house. He's looking at apartments." "Just talk to him then," Kendra said. "I can't," Rebecca yelled. "You said whoever talks first loses." "This has gone too far," Amanda started. "Maybe you should. This was your idea," Rebecca shouted. "Let's see who breaks first." "Well, I'm breaking. Are you happy?" "We were trying to help you see." "Help me see what? That my husband doesn't need me?" "Mission accomplished." The call ended abruptly. I felt a moment of satisfaction, but no sympathy. One more day would complete the lesson. Monday morning, I was up at 6. My final items were packed. The note I'd written sat on the kitchen counter. Rebecca appeared in the doorway in her pajamas, hair disheveled, face blotchy from days of crying. She saw me standing there with my bags. "Andrew, please," she began, her voice breaking 5 days of silence. I held up one finger and shook my head. I pointed to the note on the counter, picked up my bags, and walked toward the door. "Andrew, stop, please." Rebecca was desperate now. "I'm sorry. This was stupid. Please don't leave." I paused at the door, but didn't turn around. "I broke." "Okay. I broke. You win. Please don't go." I opened the door, walked out, and closed it quietly behind me. I heard her collapse against it, sliding down, sobbing. The note said everything I couldn't. "Rebecca, you win. Congrats. You wanted to see who would break first. You broke. I didn't. But here's what you don't understand. I didn't win. We both lost. You lost a husband who would have talked to you about anything if you'd just asked. I lost respect for a wife who chose games over communication. Your friends told you silence would make me desperate to get your attention. Instead, it made me realize I don't want to be with someone who thinks love is a competition. I'm staying at Residence Inn on Market Street, room 312. My number is the same. When you're ready to have an actual conversation instead of playing games, you know where to find me. But I'm done being tested. I'm done with manipulation. And I'm done with the influence of people who think destroying trust is good relationship advice. You need to decide what you want. A marriage based on honesty, or friends who treat your relationship like a game show. Andrew. I drove to the hotel and checked in. I turned off my phone temporarily and sat in the quiet room. For the first time in 5 days, I felt something like peace. Back at the house, Rebecca sat on the floor by the door for 20 minutes after I left. When she finally stood, her legs were shaky. She walked to the kitchen and saw the note on the counter. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. She read it once quickly, then again slowly. By the third time, she was sobbing so hard she could barely see the words. "You win. Congrats." Those 3 words broke something in her. She'd wanted to win. That's what this whole thing had been about. Winning. Proving something. But now that she'd won, she'd lost everything that mattered. She called Whitney. The phone rang 4 times before Whitney answered. "How'd it go?" Whitney asked cheerfully. "Did he break?" "He left," Rebecca said, her voice hollow. "What?" "He packed his things and left. He never said a word for 5 days, and then he just left." "He's bluffing. Give it a few hours." "He's not bluffing. He left me a note. He told me I won, that I broke first. And he's right. I did break. And now he's gone." There was silence on the other end. "Whitney, what have I done?" "Look, just give him some space. He'll come back." "You don't understand. He's not coming back. Not unless I fix this. Not unless I fix me." "You're being dramatic." "No, you were being dramatic. You turned my marriage into a game, and I was stupid enough to play along. I'm done, Whitney. With the games, with the tests, with all of it. I'm done with you." She hung up before Whitney could respond. Then she called Kendra and Amanda and said the same thing to both of them. She was done. She spent the rest of Monday alternating between crying and reading the note over and over. Every word was a mirror showing her exactly who she'd become, and she hated what she saw. At 2 that afternoon, I turned my phone back on. 47 missed calls from Rebecca, 23 voicemails, 61 text messages. The voicemails started desperate. "Andrew, please call me back. We need to talk. I'm so sorry." By the 10th message, her tone had shifted. "I read your note. You're right. About everything. Please just talk to me." The 15th message made me pause. I called Whitney and told her our friendship is over. Same with Kendra and Amanda. I should never have listened to them. The texts were a flood of regret. "I was so stupid. You were right about my friends. Please answer. I love you. I know that means nothing right now. I'm sitting here looking at half-empty closets. This is what I deserve. But please don't give up on us." I read everything. I felt no satisfaction, only sadness. But I recognized genuine remorse beginning. Still, I maintained my boundary. I sent a single text. "I'll meet you for coffee tomorrow. Capriccio Cafe on Walnut Street, 10 a.m. Just you. No friends." Then I turned my phone to Do Not Disturb. Tuesday morning, I arrived at the cafe at 9:50. Rebecca was already there, standing outside, 10 minutes early. She saw me through the window. She wore no makeup, her hair in a simple ponytail, plain clothes. She'd clearly been crying and hadn't slept much. She entered and approached the corner table where I sat. "Sit," I said. She sat, hands folded on the table. "Talk." "I don't know where to start," she said quietly. "Start with why you thought silence was better than conversation." Tears formed in her eyes. "I was insecure. About us. About whether you really valued our relationship. So instead of telling me you felt insecure, you decided to punish me with silence." "It wasn't supposed to be punishment," Whitney said. "I don't care what Whitney said," I interrupted. "I care what you thought." She was quiet for a moment. "I thought if you chased me, if you broke first, it would prove you needed me." "And what did you learn?" She was crying now. "That I need you more than I knew. That I almost destroyed us for no reason. That my friends are toxic and I was too blind to see it." "What else?" "That you don't play games. That you mean what you say. That when you set a boundary, you keep it. And," she struggled with the words, "that I don't deserve a second chance. But I'm asking for one anyway." I leaned forward. "You're right. You don't deserve a second chance based on what you did. But relationships aren't about deserving. They're about choosing." "What are you choosing?" she asked, hope flickering in her eyes. "I'm choosing to tell you the truth. What you did was manipulative, disrespectful, and childish. Your friends are poison. And if you ever pull something like this again, I won't write a note. I'll have divorce papers drawn up." She flinched. "But I'm also choosing to give you one opportunity to prove you understand why this can never happen again." "Anything," she said quickly. "I'll do anything." "Don't promise anything yet. You haven't heard what I need." I took a breath. "Here's where we stand. You chose manipulation over communication. You valued your friends' entertainment over our marriage. You tested me like I was some kind of lab experiment. Those aren't small things." "I know. So now you get to make a choice. The most important one you'll ever make. You can choose to rebuild this marriage on honesty and respect. That means specific, non-negotiable changes. Or you can choose to keep living the way you have been, and I'll file for divorce next week." "I choose us," she said immediately. "I choose you." "That's easy to say. Here's what choosing us actually means." I laid out my requirements. "First, you're cutting ties with Whitney, Kendra, and Amanda. Completely. Block their numbers. Leave the book club, zero contact. They've proven they care more about drama than your happiness." "I already told Whitney we're done." "Telling her isn't enough. I need to see you block them. Right now." Rebecca pulled out her phone and blocked all 3 numbers in front of me. "Good. That's a start." "Second, we're going to marriage counseling. Real counseling with a licensed therapist, not life advice from people who get their psychology from social media. I've already researched therapists. Here's a list of 3. You pick one and schedule our first appointment for this week." I slid a paper across the table. She nodded. "Third, complete transparency. I need to know where you go, who you talk to, and what relationship advice you're getting from anyone. Your phone stays unlocked. Your password stays shared. For as long as it takes for me to trust you again." "How long will that take?" she asked. "As long as it takes. Could be 6 months. Could be 2 years. That's up to you and how you behave." "Fourth, if anyone else ever suggests you test me or play games with our marriage, you shut it down immediately and tell me about it. No exceptions." "I will. I promise." Promises don't mean anything anymore. Only actions. I looked at her carefully. "Now I need you to answer something honestly. Why did you think playing games was better than just talking to me?" She took a long pause. "Because talking felt vulnerable. If I just asked, do you love me? Do you value me? You could have said yes just to make me feel better. But if I tested you, you thought you'd see the truth." "Yes." "And what truth did you see?" Tears flowed freely now. "That you're stronger than I knew. That you won't be manipulated. That you value yourself enough to walk away. And that I almost lost you because I couldn't just use my words." "That's the most honest thing you've said in a week." I leaned back. "I'm not moving back home yet. I'm staying at the hotel for 2 weeks minimum. During that time, we'll have dinner together 3 times. Counseling twice. And you're going to show me through your actions that you understand why what you did was wrong. And if I do that, then we'll talk about me coming home. But Rebecca, if you ever pull anything like this again, any test, any game, any manipulation, I'm gone. Permanently. Do you understand?" "I understand. And I'm so sorry." "Sorry is a start. Now show me that you mean it." 2 days later, Thursday evening, something unexpected happened. Rebecca had forgotten to cancel her monthly book club meeting. Or maybe she'd remembered but wanted to face it. Either way, we arrived together at Whitney's house. The door opened, and Whitney's face showed complete surprise. "Rebecca, we didn't think you'd come after." "Actually," I said, interrupting, "I asked Rebecca to bring me. I wanted to thank you all personally." 6 women were in the living room. Whitney, Kendra, and Amanda, plus 3 others. 2 of their husbands were also there, having just arrived for a neighborhood gathering. "Thank us?" Kendra asked nervously. "For the excellent marriage advice. The silent treatment strategy was particularly inspired." The room went quiet. "See, I heard the entire phone conversation where you coached my wife on how to manipulate me. Every word. Let's see who breaks first, right?" Amanda tried to speak. "We were just trying to help her." "Help her what?" I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Destroy her marriage? Test whether her husband would beg and plead? Turn our relationship into entertainment?" Whitney's husband, who'd been talking in the corner, turned around. "What the hell is he talking about? Your wife convinced my wife to stop speaking to me. No explanation, no reason, just complete silence. To test whether I loved her enough to break first." Kendra's fiancé stepped forward. "Is this true?" "It's not like that," Kendra started. "It's exactly like that," I said. "And when I didn't break, when I packed my things and left instead, you told Rebecca to stay strong. That I was bluffing. That it was working exactly how it should." Whitney's husband looked at his wife. "You told someone to play mind games with their spouse?" "It's called setting boundaries," Whitney began. "It's called manipulation," I said. "And it nearly ended my marriage. So I wanted to come here and make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of relationship advice you 3 dispense." Amanda's husband stood up. "We're leaving. Now." Kendra's fiancé looked at her coldly. "We need to talk. Seriously talk." 2 couples left immediately. The other women in the room moved away from the 3 conspirators, whispering to each other. Rebecca and I left together. The message was clear. Actions have consequences. Over the next week, Rebecca showed up for every commitment. Our first dinner was at a quiet restaurant. She brought a printed list of things she wanted to say. I appreciated the preparation. "I wrote down everything I've been thinking about why I did what I did," she said. "I'm listening. I grew up watching my mom test my dad constantly. Little tests, big tests. She called it keeping him on his toes. I thought it was normal. And now I see it was toxic. They divorced when I was 20. I never connected the dots until now. You're connecting them now. I don't want to be her. I don't want our marriage to be like theirs was." Our first counseling session was on Friday. Dr. Patricia Holbrook was professional and direct. Rebecca took full responsibility. I expressed my hurt, but also my willingness to rebuild. We were given homework, daily check-ins, a no-games rule in writing. The following Tuesday, Rebecca had her first individual session. She called me afterward, as we'd agreed. "How did it go?" I asked. "Hard. Really hard." Dr. Holbrook asked me to talk about my parents' marriage. I never realized how much I'd normalized their dysfunction. "Tell me about it." She took a breath. "My mom used to give my dad the silent treatment at least once a month, sometimes for days. She'd make him guess what he did wrong. I remember being a kid, maybe 8 or 9, and thinking that's just what wives do. That's how you keep your husband in line. That's what you learned." "Yeah." And Dr. Holbrook pointed out that my parents divorced 3 years after I left for college. She asked me if I ever wondered why. I told her I always blamed my dad for not trying hard enough. And now I wonder if he just got tired of being tested. Tired of playing games. Tired of never being good enough no matter what he did. I was quiet, letting her process. She asked me something that really hit hard. Rebecca continued. She said, "When you gave Andrew the silent treatment, what answer were you hoping for?" And I realized I wanted you to panic, to beg, to prove you couldn't live without me. That's so messed up, Andrew. That's so toxic. But you see it now. I see it. And I hate that I became the thing that destroyed my parents. You're not your mother, Rebecca. Your mother never got help. She never admitted she was wrong. You're doing both. Dr. Holbrook gave me homework too. I have to write down every time I feel insecure and what healthy communication would look like instead of manipulation. She wants me to bring it to our next session. That sounds like good work. It is. It's exhausting, but it's good. Our second dinner was on Sunday. Rebecca shared that she'd blocked social media accounts that promoted relationship tests. She showed me her phone without me asking. She talked about what she'd learned in her individual reflection time. I saw genuine effort. Real change beginning. That night, she texted me at 9 p.m. Is it too late for our daily check-in? Not too late, I replied. How are you feeling? Scared. I saw a meme today about testing your partner's loyalty, and my first instinct was to save it. Then I remembered everything and deleted it instead. That's progress. Is it? I'm worried I'll always have these instincts. That I'm broken. You're not broken. You're unlearning bad patterns. That takes time. I miss you being home. I know. I miss it too. But you're not ready. Not yet. But these check-ins help. Keep doing them. Every night. Every night. Tell me one thing you felt and one thing you learned. That's all. Okay. Tonight, I felt scared that I've ruined us permanently. And I learned that my first instincts aren't always healthy ones. Good. That's honest. Now get some sleep. Thank you for not giving up on me, Andrew. Thank you for doing the work. The next morning, she texted again. Daily check-in. I felt hopeful when I woke up because we're actually communicating. And I learned that transparency feels scary, but also kind of freeing. I smiled at my phone. Small steps. But they were steps in the right direction. Week 3 brought an unexpected test. Rebecca called me immediately when it happened. Whitney sent a message through Amy Collins, she said. She wants to meet for coffee to apologize. What did you say? I haven't responded. I'm calling you first. What do you want to do? I want to tell her no. That chapter is closed. But I wanted you to know she reached out. You could have just ignored it. I could have. But you said transparency. So I'm telling you she contacted me, and I'm telling you I'm declining. I felt quiet satisfaction. What are you going to say to her? That I'm not interested in revisiting toxic friendships. That my marriage is more important than any apology she could offer. That I'm moving forward, not backward. Send it. Let me see after. She did. The message was perfect. Direct, final, healthy. That's exactly right, I told her. I meant every word. I know you did. That's why I'm checking out of the hotel tomorrow. Really, the shock in her voice was genuine. You passed the test you didn't know you were taking. Moving back home wasn't as simple as I'd thought it would be. The first night back, I lay in our bed, the same bed I'd slept in for 3 years, and felt like a stranger. Rebecca was beside me, careful not to touch me, respecting the space I still needed. Can I ask you something? She whispered. Yeah. Are you really okay with being here? Or are you just going through the motions? I thought about it. Honestly, I'm not sure yet. Part of me is here because I see you changing. Part of me is still protecting myself. That's fair. It's going to take time, Rebecca. Some days I'll wake up and remember what you did and feel angry all over again. That's the reality. I understand. I'll take the angry days if it means you're still here. The next week, I met my friend Thomas for lunch. He was one of the few people I'd told about everything. So you moved back in, he said, cutting into his sandwich. Yeah. How's that going? It's complicated. She's doing everything right. Therapy, transparency, daily check-ins. But I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. You think she'll test you again? No. Actually, I don't. That's what makes this hard. I believe she's changed. But I also can't forget that she was willing to destroy our trust for a game. Thomas nodded. My sister went through something similar with her husband. Different situation, but same kind of betrayal. She told me the hardest part wasn't forgiving him. It was forgiving herself for staying. What do you mean? She felt weak for giving him another chance. Like she should have been strong enough to walk away permanently. I sat with that. Yeah, I feel that sometimes. But here's what she learned. Staying isn't weak if you're staying for the right reasons. If you're staying because you see real change, because you believe in the potential of what you can rebuild, that's not weakness. That's courage. And if I'm staying because I'm afraid of being alone, are you? I thought about it carefully. No, I was fine alone at that hotel. Peaceful even. I'm choosing to be here because I want to see if we can build something better than what we had before. Then that's your answer. 6 months later, we stood in our kitchen making breakfast together. Easy conversation flowed. Comfortable silence existed, the good kind. When Rebecca's phone rang, she answered on speaker naturally. Nothing to hide. You remember what today is? I asked. 6 months since I said, let's see who breaks first. What have you learned? That breaking isn't losing. That honesty is harder than games, but worth it. That trust takes seconds to destroy and months to rebuild. Anything else? She smiled sadly. That you're a better person than I deserved during all of that. but that you gave me a chance to become someone who deserves you. You're getting there. We continued making breakfast in comfortable silence. She had new friends now, real ones based on authentic connection. We still went to counseling weekly. We did daily check-ins about feelings instead of tests. Mutual respect had been restored. I ran into Amanda at the grocery store last week, Rebecca said. And she tried to tell me I overreacted. That cutting them off was extreme. What did you say? That extreme problems require extreme solutions. That I'd rather have one real relationship than a dozen fake friendships. How did that feel? Like I finally understood what you were trying to teach me. A week after that grocery store encounter, Rebecca got a text from an unknown number. She showed it to me immediately. It's from Kendra's fiancé, Brian, she said. He's asking if he can talk to me about what happened. Says Kendra told him I'm willing to answer questions. What do you want to do? I think I should talk to him. He deserves to know the truth about what kind of advice his fiancé was giving. We met Brian at a coffee shop. He looked tired, frustrated. He shook my hand first. Thank you for meeting me. Both of you. Of course, Rebecca said. Kendra finally admitted everything after your confrontation at Whitney's house. The tests, the manipulations, all of it. Turns out she's been testing me for months. Little things I didn't even notice. I'm sorry, Rebecca said. Don't be. I needed to know. She had me believing I was crazy, that I was imagining patterns that weren't there. But they were there. She was deliberately creating drama to test my reactions. What are you going to do? I asked. We postponed the wedding. I told her we're not getting married until she gets help. Real help, not advice from social media or friends who think relationships are games. That's a hard call to make, I said. It is. But watching what you two went through, hearing how close you came to divorce, it woke me up. I don't want to marry someone who thinks love is a test I need to pass. Rebecca reached across the table. For what it's worth, I'm sorry I was part of that group. I'm sorry we normalized that kind of thinking. You got out. That's what matters. Kendra is still defending Whitney, saying she was misunderstood. That tells me everything I need to know. After he left, Rebecca was quiet on the drive home. That could have been us, she finally said. What do you mean? If you'd proposed instead of walking away. If we'd gotten married before this happened. We'd be planning a wedding while our foundation was rotting underneath us. Maybe. You saved us by leaving. I know that now. The silent treatment war was over. Rebecca had won by losing. I had won by walking away. But we both only truly won when we chose to rebuild on honesty instead of games. Some tests don't have winners and losers. Some tests just show you who you really are. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is refuse to play at all. Dear listeners, that's our ending. If it resonated, subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.